ago. You forget it. You're live, and the way it goes. And but at least it's not bad with Jim is the only one I really bother, I think. And at least before, with the amplifier was in, it covered quite a bit more signal output some way. The little trip of the box was heard everywhere. And I'm a little fortunate. I don't know what I must have done over the last week or so, but little soreness in the side. I think I turned this amplifier around so I could get to work on it a little bit. And I think I must have just strained my side slightly. Because it's an awkward position because it's about 4 feet off the ground as it sits, and everything is elevated as you're trying to twist. And, for a little lightweight amplifier, it's still got I think it's a 22-pound transformer in it. And you still have to be careful how you move it. And sometimes you move just wrong, where it goes. And that's what I've been fighting with for about a week now. But that's about the story from Rocky Hill. Sun is out a little bit. It's not that super bright or anything, but that's just the way it's been around here. And, John, I found more problems. That thing really took a hit that first time it was tripped out. And I noticed the two plate choke capacitors, what are they, .001 at 7.5 kW. And one of them is burned pretty well. So those are more replacements I got to get my hands on. So, this amplifier now to buy a new one, or at least the last one's made, are still around $1,700. So, if I spend $100 or $2, $150, whatever, just trying to get it back running, just as well. I haven't opened things up and worked on things so much in a long time, at least. I'm getting to see this thing for what it really is, and being such an older version. It's version 2. I found that on the one of the boards. It's version 2, so that goes back quite a ways. Okay, let's move on to you, John. KLBY. K1 Mike Queen.
K1MQ in the group. This is K1BY. Good morning, everybody. Thanks, Paul, for running things. And gee, Jerry, you're having stuff happen that never happened, to me anyway. I've pulled a lot of amplifiers over the year and had some weird things happen. I'll tell you one weird story. I had a 304TH, which is a triode, and you had to have a neutralizing capacitor. And it was off and it went into oscillation, and it was on my desk or bench near the window, which was painted, and the plate turned white, and it blistered the paint on the wall. Anyway, and it didn't ruin the tube. Let's see, what else? Okay, back to the data. It's 73 degrees. Talk about smoke. Yesterday, you could smell the smoke, and it looked like sunset. It was like 7 o'clock instead of 8:30 or 8:20, whatever. And I looked at the webcam in New London out over the harbor, and everything was yellow. Gee, I've never seen anything like that before. Same thing as all you guys have. And, oh yeah, Paul, here, shame on you. You went to breakfast and you had a donut for dessert? My goodness. Sounds good. But, oh, it tasted good, too. And, more excitement in New London. They had a fire at a house on Coleman Street. And then they had a boat fire, I guess a couple of boats at Bird Marina, and I don't know what happens because those boats are jammed in those slips pretty close. I guess it can go from boat to boat. That's all I know. I haven't heard any more. And talking about the price of gold, it seems to me that it wasn't too long ago, a couple of years ago, it was like $1,600 an ounce, and now it's pushing $4K. That's a good investment. Try to double your money in a couple of years. And those gold miners are probably smiling all the way to the bank. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, so I bought a beat tool at a sale at Home Depot jackhammer to remove tiles from my basement floor. And the thing is so powerful. And about a 7/8 inch one that I was digging into the cement. So I found a nice wide one on the internet. I Googled the brand and everything. Got it. It is not anywhere near the same. It won't ever fit. Have to return it. I'll tell you, these deals sometimes. It'd be nice if they would standardize the shape on stuff like that. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, and it's not important, but it's funny how I got the order screwed up, and Paul straightened it out, and I didn't hear from him and Ed the first time, but I copied him fine now. And I hope he copied me. Ben isn't great. Okay, well, let's find out. Let's talk things over with John, WF1C in the group, Killing BY.
CTY Mobile. I get you.
Yeah, I am here. A little confused how to transmit, but here we go. Very good. Yep. Well, as far as investing in gold, you bought kind of at the beginning of this year, you lost 20%. As I said, if you bought it 2-3 years ago, you doubled your money. So I guess I'd call that volatile. I think long term in the past, I never thought it was a great investment. I think a couple of high-quality mutual funds is probably the safest thing you can do. And then you don't have to be very smart. You can just let it take off and hopefully make some money for you eventually. The temperature here is 76. And as everybody noted, it's a little hazy out. Not as bad as yesterday afternoon, but getting there. Oil, of course, tonight should be like on the web, it's $80 a barrel. It's probably going to stay up until something gets settled over in the Middle East. As far as the X goes, I have a frequent schedule in the evening on sometimes on 20 and often on 12 meters with a VK3 in Australia. And I was talking to him last night. We tried it at 8:30 and it didn't work very well. I just got a word here and there, but not copies. But by 9:30 it was pretty solid on 3DB, and we talked for about half an hour. So there's a little propagation. It's funny, there's hardly anybody on 12 meters when I'm looking at the display. There's nobody. And I can talk to him. So there's sometimes propagation and you don't realize nobody's doing it. So, I think that's all the time here. I guess we'll turn it over to K4C WF1C.
Okay, very good. WF1C, K4FBP. Okay, John, thank you very much. And good morning from South Carolina here, where it's about 85 degrees. And boy, I didn't know about all that smoke up there in New England coming from the Canadian fires up there. Boy, I hope that clears out pretty soon. We'll be up that way, and I was hoping for, well, you know, whenever you're always planning a trip, you never know what the weather's going to be like. But I always hope for good weather. And whenever we're up there, of course, we hope that it is good at the end of the month there in July. And hope to, looking forward to seeing beautiful flowers. Well, down here, we're kind of taking it easy. I don't know what I did. I think I got a pinched nerve in my back. It's kind of like pulling a back muscle. And we've been nursing still walking a few miles a night and also playing water volleyball a couple, 3 days a week. So I've been still active, but it just once in a while glitches, you know. And it's been going on for about a week now. So we're hoping that we'll be able to get away from that. I didn't take too many notes, Paul. The breakfast at overtime, boy, oh boy, that has been going on for a long time. Of course, that was going on whenever we lived up there in Lyme, and we made it a few times, but this morning, whenever you said you meet at 7 o'clock in the morning, boy, I don't get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, that's for sure. And I think that's why a few others don't go, because they're kind of like me, more or less like 8 o'clock in the morning is our time to rise. Well, okay, not too much news from here. We're getting excited about coming up that way on the 25th, which is on a Saturday. We're going up to Cary, North Carolina, and visiting a gentleman that's turning 90 years old. So he's having a party. So we're going to take part in that party, and then the following day, of course, on the 26th, we'll start driving north towards New England. And I want you guys to have all that smoke taken out by that time, and nice, clear New England air. All right, we'll pass it over to our good friend Jim. Don't know what you've been up to, Jim. Hadn't heard too much about fishing, but I'm sure you're still doing a lot of that. WA1VNO, here is the K4FPP remote.
All right, very good, Rick. K4FPP remote. WA1VNO with the USO group. Nice to hear you, Rick. You have a pretty good signal, but you're fading away on me. I'm not sure why. Wondering which remote you might be using. As I mentioned, it's a hazy day here. 75 degrees already, but and it was interesting. Yesterday I went north to north of Hartford into Bloomfield. And it was incredible the change in the atmosphere from here to there. And that's only like 20 miles, but boy, the smoke up there was pretty dense. And you could really smell whatever's being burned, that's for sure. Well, good to hear everybody. Interesting group. And comment about Bob, NCOTT. Yes, Bob, when you switch some switch from, one mode to the other, it made a distinct difference, to say the least. Okay. I'm not calling to mention that somebody behind me, but I did not call back to you. K1A5, WA130.
Okay, we got Josh, K1CTY Mobile. Where are you this morning, Josh? Over. Well, maybe he's away from the microphone. Or maybe someone was talking when he checked in, so I didn't recognize him other than to say gotcha. All right. Well, we'll pick him up a little later. Are there any other check-ins? Come now. K1 Blue Echo Kilo. Well, good morning, Leo. How did you find the smoke yesterday? Pretty dense. It was very weird. I hadn't seen anything like that. It sounded
It looked like the descriptions I've read of the onset of the 38 hurricane before the wind came and the tidal surge. They said it got very yellowy, orange looking, like something imminent was approaching. And if you looked at the weather on the internet, there was no chance of rain. There was no precipitation anywhere in the Northeast that I could see, and it was just plain old dense smoke. And I hope you did all right. I heard Bob Maxim say that there are particles in there that are cancer-causing and very bad if you have heart disease. That could put you over the edge. So a lot of people that stayed inside. It was quite ominous. Hope you did all right, and you weren't working outside. K1CT, no, K1ZEK from K1AFI.
Okay, K1AFI in the USO net. This is K1ZEK Leo in Groton, Connecticut, where it's one temperature thing says 80 and the other one says 82. So the wind is calm and it's starting to look like yesterday. Yesterday was really, really spooky and stinky. And we didn't do anything outside. We went a couple trips back and forth from the house to the shed. And we worked on putting up a temporary wall in the house to permanently take and block the outside wall inside of the addition. So we had to put another wall up to hold the roof up. And so we're going to finish that today. We're just going to take it easy. I've got to get out of here. I've got to go to a physical therapy class at the senior center. I go there now on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so chances are I won't be making a net. I might be 1-1, but depends on how late I get up. And we're still hanging in there. And let's see, I did copy everybody's transmissions. Everybody's an S8, S7, some are an S9, and I did copy Josh. I think he was in front of my house because he was like 40 over. So, but that's about it from Groton, Connecticut. So I'm one and done. And let's see, I won't hold it. I won't go down everybody's remarks. I'll just say good morning and pleasant to all. 73.
Yeah, okay, Leo, what do? Just walk across the street to the senior center?
Well, lately I've had a lot of difficulty walking. I fell off a ladder a couple of weeks ago, and I'm between the cane and the walker, and so my son takes my wife high over there because if I tried to walk over there, I'd be out of shape to do anything.
Okay, very good, I get you. I understand. Are there any other check-ins before we go around again? No. All right. Well, there was a considerable QSB when Jim was talking V&O. He almost faded out, and I noticed the same thing on Gary up there in that area of Connecticut. It was poor propagation between us this morning. All right. And yeah, Rich, we're looking forward to your arrival up here in the area. And I think, you tell me again what days, I have it noted somewhere. I think it's the very last week, is it? For some reason, I thought it was around the 23rd, 24th in there, but I guess now it's the 29, 30 and in there. Let us know. We've got to get together. Harrison, let's see if Harrison is on his way somewhere and he can use his remote operation from a cell phone, perhaps. W1 HAF, and by the way, your barometer is exactly the same where mine was, 2991. W1 HAF, K1 AFI.
Yeah, okay, Paul, W1 HAF remote from my cell phone. And just getting ready to leave the house, and so I'll make it brief. I missed a lot of the comments. I got a phone call during the net. My sister called. She fell yesterday in the bathroom, and she might have sprained her ankle. She's like you, Leo. Now she's got to use a cane, and she's sore, and aches everywhere. So, you know, and we got to be careful. Falling is not a good thing. And good luck on your therapy today, and hopefully you feel better. And Rich said, I think the 24th, Paul, that he's coming up. So, or he's leaving to come up. So that's where it's going to be. I think he leaves the 1st or 2nd in August. So that's the story here. Not much else. Got to grab the dog and get going. And I did send out a picture of the sun when I was out in the yard working yesterday, and it broke through the smoke. So you guys could see that. Somebody put one almost identical on Channel 8 News last night. They did the same thing. So, and I see the sun up there right now, but I think the smoke is supposed to come back. So, all right, 7-3 guys. Everybody enjoy the day. I got to get going. W1 HAF over to W1 BF. 7-3.
W1 HAF in the minute. This is W1 BF. 7-3 to you, Harrison. Have a great day. And I don't have a whole lot more to offer. Conditions are up and down. Some stations are very strong, some are not. And copy everybody now. With that, wish everybody a very fine day. 7-3, and Lord be willing, I'll see you all tomorrow morning. And to LTG in the net W1BF.
W1BF in the USL net. This is M2OTG. Okay. Well, good day to you, Ed. And, thanks for the signal reports, Gary and Jim. And the switch that I put on was the internal tuner, because the match in between the rig and the amplifier is not super great. It's like 1.5, which is okay. And apparently when I turn that on, I don't understand why, but apparently when I turn that on, it lowered the signal. And I can see now that my output power is a bit higher. You know, it's like almost 600 watts. So I don't understand that, but, who knows. But the signal has been excellent this morning for me anyway. And, things are very favorable for this band right now. And, very little solar activity. X-rays are down in the low B Bravo range, lowest I've seen them in a long time. And, sunspots are tailing off. That's good for this band, not so great for the higher frequencies. If you're still there, Harrison, I saw your note that you sent around. And he seems to be saying exactly what I just said. So I guess that's a reinforcing. But it's, maybe I don't have to give my space weather report anymore. But anyhow, John, with the gold, K1BY, gold is below 4,000 today, and in January it was over 5. And there was all this speculation supposedly about Jay Powell was leaving the Fed, and Donald Trump was going to be a dictator, and he was going to take over the Fed and lower the interest rates even though the economics wasn't there, and he was going to debase the dollar.
course, all that stuff didn't happen, you know. And the interest rates, if anything, are feared to be going up. And so, you know, the price has gone down. And I can remember in January, you know, there was nothing but ads on the radio and TV, buy gold, buy gold, buy gold, you know. I mean, when that happens, you know, somebody wants to sell. And that's just the way, you know, the gold market is not as big or liquid as the stock market. It can't be manipulated. Silver as well. And so a lot of poor suckers, if you want to use that word, are sitting on 20% losses. And that won't necessarily come back anytime soon. So, you know, gold is volatile and it's subject to big swings from speculation. So, yeah, John WF1C, I wish I had a correspondent like that in New Zealand and Australia, because very often I can hit on 30 meters or, or on 20 meters on CW. I can hit New Zealand and Australia, in as much as I can ping the RBN skimmers in those countries, but it's rare when somebody comes back to my CQ. I wish I knew somebody there who could have this good. So, anyways, great to hear everybody. Signals were great, and it's great net as always. Enjoyed it very much, and again, signals were really great. And Paul, thanks for running the net. So on to you, Ray, and you were S9 most of the time on your last transmission. K1XV, this is N20TG, over.
K1CTY mobile. Okay. Ray, you want to let Josh in? Where were you, Josh? Why don't you make a transmission, then give it to Ray? K1CTY Mobile, where are you? K1AFI.
K1AFI in the group, K1CTY Mobile, passing over to Gold Star Bridge, heading towards Waterford right now. I had to stop off at Walmart, sorry about that. Everything's going good. We're doing some Christmas decorating for Christmas in July at the campground today. Setting up a Christmas tree and a bunch of decorations. I'll just sit back and listen, and thanks for letting me break in. K1XB, this is K1CTY, step 3.
Okay, very good. You're about an S6 here. Very good. This is K1XB. All right, well, on a completely different subject, today is Thursday, tomorrow is Friday, and the baseball season resumes. And the Red Sox are at home, and they're playing a day-night doubleheader against the Rays, the first-place team in the division. The afternoon game, I think, is at 1:25, and then the evening game is at the regular time. And while the Red Sox are coming off a 9-game winning streak, they have a terrible home record this year. So I hope the winning streak doesn't come to an end. And the Yankees also are resuming their season at home, but they are playing the Los Angeles Dodgers, which is, I think, probably the best team in baseball right now. So they are going to have a challenge for sure. And so talking about going to places, boy, my friends are dropping like flies, it seems like. So I go down to the local funeral home, and I just sit there, and one by one my friends come through. And then if I expire, they don't have to come pick me up. I'm already at the funeral home. So with that, we will say 73, and over to you, Gary. K1MQ, this is K1XV.
Okay, right. K1XV in the group K1XV. I've got a lot of noise going on outside. You're on the street. The phone service, we got problems in the region, and they're out there with this big, they don't dig anymore. They got this big vacuum truck that comes, and they just suck the dirt out. And so that's what they're doing. It's making a pretty good sized buzzing sound here. And you know how these vacuum trucks sound. Okay, nothing much more. Good morning to Josh there and to Leo. And I'll just keep it moving along. It's making a lot of noise here. Everybody enjoy the day. Good day.
Okay, when I'm queuing to grab this is K1BY, I guess everybody's copying. Interesting. Bob and I'm pushing that sign, and Leo and Jim were way down, and but then came back. Gary, same with you, you're right up there again, but who knows what's going on? Must be the skyways and the groundways canceling or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, great one.
Happy to get done. I'm running late as usual. Just finished my cereal here, so getting close to up and running.
Yeah, I'm just having some chocolate here this morning. Went through my emails and stuff like that. And last night I got a couple of crazy guys trying to play games with me on the sale of the 891.
Well, I always get those guys. Usually I ignore them.
I got an offer for $400. I says no thanks.
Well, that's to be expected. Some people just aren't happy with a good deal. They got to push the limit.
Well, they want it for nothing. You know what I mean? That's it. Another guy says he doesn't. He wants it, but he doesn't trust the internet. Okay, fine. I said, give me a call. Talk to me.
Well, there you go. Doesn't trust the internet. Well, the internet isn't doing it. Oh, God, I'll tell you. The stupid people, Joe, I can't handle it anymore.
Well, he's concerned for scammers. I mean, I do understand that. Okay, so talk to me. I mean, that's why I put a phone number there.
Yeah, well, what's he doing reading the ads anyway? If he doesn't trust the internet, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, what's the point of making the comment at all? You know, if you don't, if you think everybody's a scammer, and I understand there are some out there, yes, but, oh well, you know, wrong person, that's the wrong customer, that's all.
Yeah. Well, somebody will come along, I'm sure.
Well, I'll keep it there until I find somebody. In the meantime, I'll still use it for the field use and experimentation.
Yeah, it won't go to waste, that's for sure. So it's got it.
So, what's up with you? Anything new? Let's see. So, Saturday morning I have to go down to the funeral.
Yeah, that's, well, certainly not a pleasant thing to have to get involved with, I guess. But now, do you drive down, or how do you get there?
Oh yeah, I got to drive down to the Bronx to the old neighborhood that I moved when I came up to Dutchess County. The neighborhood that I moved from, that's exactly where they are.
Okay, how long of a drive is that?
Oh, an hour and 20 minutes, I guess, about, you know, roughly.
Oh, well, that's not too bad.
Well, this is one I have to do. That's all there is to it. I got to do this. They were there for me when my father passed away, my cousin, so I have to be there for them.
Yep, I get it.
Well, somebody's walking across between my neighbor, actually on my property. Let me see what's going on here in the window.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'm going to grab a coffee. Be right back. That'll be 3:02.
Okay, November 2, Zebra Romeo India, standing by.
W3OT.
Into ZRI, standing by here.
Okay, got my coffee and got a phone call and a text. I have a doctor's appointment on Tuesday, I think it is. They drive me crazy, these people. Text, reminders, you have an appointment on such and such a time. Give me a break. Bring all the papers necessary. Do this, do that. Not bringing anything, you're just bringing me. They have my information. God, these doctor's offices, Joe, are just, they're out of control.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I get the same thing. Was it yesterday? I think yesterday. I'm forgetting now, or day before yesterday, whatever. My wife and I went by this place to check out these barn-like things. You know, they're what do you call these things? Sheds. Okay, I think I told you about that. Well, they take donations there, and I was looking around and said, this is interesting. I've got an old slide projector that needs a repair, but I know what the problem is on it. It needs a little repair kit to advance it. It's a common thing with the Kodak things. I did the research. Runs about $12 for the repair kit. So I spoke to the guy. He says, look, I'm going to donate this, okay? Would you take it? And they said, yeah. So today in our travels, I think I'm going to pass by and donate that. And I have other things, you know, calculators and oh my goodness, what do you call these things? Some other electronic devices that I have. Modems. I have some modems, you know, that I don't use anymore. I'm going to donate all this stuff. I even have a converter to from the analog to the digital TVs, brand new in the box. Remember those things? I'm not using any of this stuff here. So I have some old Panasonic handheld phones. I'm going to donate all this, and it goes to some kind of charity, whatever they sell, you know. It's sort of like a Salvation Army type thing.
Oh, yeah, very good. Yeah, there's some kind of a collection coming up here for electronics, computers, televisions, gadgets, whether they work or they don't. The ones that work, they'll fix them up and give them to, you know, needy people, which is good. I've got 3 televisions downstairs, Joe. I should say 2. 2 of them work fine, except the bigger one has kind of a raspy speaker, which is why I took it out of service. I wanted to buy a sound, what do you call it? A sound bar. Or, in fact, I did actually, only to find out it didn't have, what do you call that? HDMI, an ARC port, I think. So I said, oh, this is not going to work. So I took the soundbar back. Never even got it out of the box. Well, anyway, after some more aggravation with the raspy speaker, you know what, I can't put up with this. This is in my bedroom, and I watch TV in bed at night. So I bought another one. Well, my grandson comes over to help me take it off the wall, and what do I find in a very unconspicuous location was the port. Well, I would have been able to get at it anyway. So I said, well, what am I going to do? So down the cellar it goes. The other one has spots. So I said, that won't do. And you can't fix them. But for somebody who had a soundbar or wants to get one, the one TV is actually really good. And then I had the smaller one that was on the kitchen counter. And what the hell? Oh, I know what it was. When I got rid of the cable, I converted the coax to the antenna line. I have 2 antennas up in the attic, and each antenna supports 2 televisions. So the one in the kitchen wouldn't scan the UHF channels. So anyway, long story short, I had to get rid of that. Because I use that TV all the time when I'm eating or cooking or cleaning in the kitchen or whatever. So the other one is good. You know, if you have cable service, the other TV is perfectly fine. It just didn't have the right tuner in it. So I'd love to see somebody get use out of them. Anyway, I'm rambling on here. And I have two iPads, Joe, that are perfectly fine. I've got a new one because it wouldn't run the stuff I needed to run on it. And I keep looking for somebody that could use an iPad. And haven't found anybody. So I'm going to do the same thing as you. I'm going to donate all this crap.
Into ZRI. Well, I was glad to find this place. And you know something else? By the TVs. I had a bunch. I had 3 TVs down in my basement a couple of years ago. This is prior to COVID. And I had some old furniture that I wanted to sell. Well, I ended up putting it all on Craigslist, and I had this guy who started up a business. He wanted the furniture. They were tables and end tables. They were good. Heavy pine. They were good, so he loved that. Then the TVs, I got all 3 TVs. I actually gave them away because nobody would buy them. You know who came and get them? Guys that were into gaming. There were 2 Sony TVs. Wait a minute. 2 Sonys and one Panasonic. They were 20-inch TVs. They wanted the TVs for gaming.
Oh, yeah. You know, they probably run them 24/7 and burn them up. Or maybe they can run multiple monitors at a time. I don't know. I never did gaming. I don't know a thing about it. So I don't know what goes on. But, at least I guess they went to good use.
Yeah, they were all workable. They were analog TVs. I would have given one of them, the analog to digital converter if he was going to buy it, but nobody wanted to buy them. So I just gave them away, and I was surprised that 3 people came and took the 3 or 2, whatever. They took all 3 of them. I ended up getting rid of them and, just donating them, and because they were just taking up space down in the basement. I said, this has got to go.
Yeah, my basement is so bad. I don't know where to start, but this coming fall, I'm going to get at it. But before I even do that, little by little, I've been working on my garage. My garage is just a disgusting mess. And even though I have an extra bay, that accumulates all the stuff. But worse than that, it needs a paint job really bad. You can see the studs, the outline of the studs. That's how dirty the walls are. So I have a guy who's going to paint it for me, but I've got a lot of cleaning to do before I can even get to that point, And I got rid of my kerosene heaters. I put them out 2 weeks ago with the garbage. There's a guy who comes around here during the night. He picks up recyclables that are, worthy of taking to the junkyard. Anyway, so they went. I'm going to get an electric heater, but as a result of using the kerosene heaters, I have these cobwebs, Joe, throughout the garage. I never really realized how much of a mess those things made. So after I get that accomplished, I got a guy who's going to come and paint the garage for me. Then I got to start on the basement because when I tip over, my tickets will go nuts. You'll hear them up there because I'm leaving things in a god-awful mess. So I'm trying to straighten things out before it gets any worse.
Well, that's the problem we have too. There's a lot of stuff downstairs that really needs to go. It's not fair. It just isn't fair, And I have trouble getting rid of certain things, but I'm doing better. I'm doing a lot better. And the one thing I will not throw out are pictures. Okay, I have pictures and slides. I will not throw those out. I started converting them to digital, and I did about 10 trays. But I have to continue with it. It's just that you got to be in the mood to do it, But I have been making a lot of progress with that. But the old machine, which has to be repaired, that I'm donating today. And there are other things down there. Oh, the other things I will not throw out are the boxes for any of my ham gear. I will not throw out the boxes to that.
Oh, I have every box. from any major item and some not so major items on a couple of shelves in the basement. In fact, I just put the box down there the other day, would you believe, for the 7300. You know, that came obviously in a double box, and the way I wanted to put it on the shelf, it doesn't really reveal that it's a 7300. So I just took a piece of paper, you know, an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and I just wrote that up on the side, so anybody getting down there later on looking will see what that's all about. Anyway, give me a second here. I got to step away for just a little bit, and I will be right back, Joe, okay? W3OT.
Okay, Rich, N2ZRI.
N2ZRI, W3OT.
W3OT and 2ZRI. I just posted my radio in the Craigslist. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll get somebody local.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I know you had some luck there before, so you never know. Have you edited your ad on QTH to move it up to the head of the line?
No, I think you can only edit it once, right?
No, you can edit it 3 times. Now, that doesn't mean you have to change it. But if you just go to edit and then type in your information, and I usually make a little change. I just did my ad a couple days ago, but I haven't had any action on my radio, and I really don't expect to get any. But anyhow, when you resubmit it, even though you don't really have any changes in it, it puts it at the head of the line. They get so many ads there, Joe, in the course of a day. Before you know it, like a couple hours later, you're 3-4 pages down.
You know, that's a good point. I think I'm going to do that. I know I'll do that. Okay, I'll make a slight change in it and see what happens. But that's a good point. Okay, so you can do it up to 3 times.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm surprised I didn't get more. I mean, you know, I don't pay for this thing. I paid for over $700 for this, and I'm surprised I'm not getting more. More responses. But then again, we know they want everything for nothing.
Yeah, it's got a lot of undesirables in the hobby. Of course, I'm sure every hobby does too, you know. But anyway, in the morning I got to start putting my phone on silent. It seems like every now and then I get a flurry of calls when I'm trying to talk on the radio here. But I also got a text from a company in Huntington, New York. Is that anywhere up near you?
Huntington, New York?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with that.
I think that's what it was. Let me go back and look. Anyway, what I did on Tuesday, I've been thinking about a whole house generator here, Joe, and I don't know if I want to do it. I'd like to do it, but it's an expensive affair. And so I called the 800 number that they're blasting on TV all the time. You know, kind of like those cellular plus or whatever, those ads make me crazy. That was jacuzzi ads. But anyway, so I gave the lady all kinds of information. And I said, I want a local contractor. I don't want somebody from out of the area. Somebody I can go see and call right away or whatever. So she says, okay, fine. Well, I've already gotten an email and a text from 2 companies. The other one, I don't know where the hell they're at, but the one in that I got this morning, in fact, it woke me up at 10 after 8. Let's see, where the hell did it go here? Where is that text? I don't know where it got to. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see here. Here we go. Oh. Let's see if this is it. I've gotten a couple, but I really haven't paid much attention. Thanks for joining Generac Updates. Da, 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 da. The name of the town isn't there with their company name and address. I bet I deleted that thing. I was so aggravated when I saw it, Joe. I deleted it. But anyway, he's a contractor out of Huntington, New York. And I thought, geez, like, don't these people understand? You know, they have to have a map in front of them. We gave them the zip code. That's got to be 100 miles from here. And anyway, that's the way it was. But I don't know. I'm getting so disgusted already that I'm going to have to do some searching on my own for a local company just to get an idea if this is a feasible thing to do or not.
Well, you already have gas, so yes. I mean, you already have the tank. You have half the system right there. You can do it, but it's still going to cost you for a decent one, a good 10 grand.
Oh, I know. I just don't know if I want to do that. I'd like to have it because I'm at the point now where it seems like most of the outages are in the winter months. And when we get a snowfall, if I don't plow a path around across the front of the house and then down the side about 25 feet, that's the only way I can roll the generator over to the spot where it goes through the wall, you know, to hook up to my panel. And but it's getting more difficult for me to drag that thing. It's heavy, you know. It's an 8500, and if the ground is mushy, you know how the wheels they kind of sink in the mud. You know, if it's a rainy season, I can't do that anymore. I mean, I can do it, but it's a struggle. And so I'm just looking for ways to, you know, make life easier by having an automatic system like that. But, you know, whether it's going to be feasible to consider or not, or, you know, I might just have to do some very long-range planning. But anyway, so that was one of the texts I got. And then, of course, my son calls me to give me a whole bunch of updates about what's going on. He's supposed to go to Canada in a couple of weeks. Now, the company that I used to work for, Joe and my son is still there. This is the company that bought me out. They're in Syracuse. Every year they have a big annual meeting. They rent a big boat and they take everybody for a ride in Canada. I don't know, is that Lake Ontario in Canada, whatever the hell it is. But the smoke has got to be so bad up there. He said, Dad, I'm not going to go up there and breathe all that crap. It's got to be terrible on the lake. I said, well, yeah, tell them to stuff it. So why would you do that? They can change it to another time. So anyway, I had to hear all about that stuff.
Into ZRI with W3LT. Well, look, it is a good idea if you have no other options, because you have, as I said, you have a source for propane. So that's a big part of the expense out of the way. However, what I'm wondering about is, since you already have a generator, why can't you keep the generator in your garage, and when you need it, just move it out of the garage and run it like I do?
Well, I do keep it in the garage, and the problem is where the power comes into the house is the other end of the house, and there's no way that I can, I can let it, run it from that area. I don't even know how I would do it, actually.
Well, you see, what I did was I had a cable run underground from my box, not underground, excuse me, in the basement. I had a cable run there to the side of the house where the garage opens up. How shall I say? It's right next to the oil spigot, if you want to call it that, whatever, where they refill the oil, and it's near the side door of the garage. So I just move the generator from the garage right to the driveway, which is a short distance, and I can run the cable, which is 40 feet long, into the socket there. That's right near the garage door, to where I have the generator, and I put a small fan to push air out of the garage, so it doesn't fill up with CO2.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I suppose there's something like that I can consider. I could put a connection box in the garage, but I'd have to run it a long way across the basement. Like I can get to the basement from the one wall of the garage, the inside wall. Then I'd have to go all the way across the basement, to my main panel. And it's got to go to the main panel because there is a sub-panel, Joe, which is actually right behind my garage, underneath the kitchen. And kind of like an L configuration, if you will, But anyway, most of the important things for the house are on the sub-panel. Like the heat, or now it's the air conditioning, the 2 refrigerators, what else? The stove. Well, I don't hardly use the stove. The dryer, washer, things like that. Of course, I don't have to run them when there's a power outage, but, if it's the cold time of the year, and when we had Hurricane Sandy, it was a very cold and damp period of time, and I was very lucky to be able to run my heat. But anyway, it complicates matters because of the location of the sub-panel. So that's got to feed from the main panel. But anyway, maybe there's something I'm not seeing. So that's why I want to get somebody here that could set me straight.
N2ZRA with W3LT. Well, it's just a suggestion. If you can put an outlet or a socket where you need it to be and just run it out of the garage, outside of the garage, then I think it solves the problem. So it might be cheaper just to have somebody run an outlet there, as opposed. It depends. See, we as much as I would like to have a unit that handles the whole house, I really don't need it for the amount of time, for the amount of days that we have to use it. The times that we have a brownout or something like that, this generator has worked very well, and I can bring any 30 amp generator right there and do the same thing, as long as it's about a 6,000 or 7,000 watt generator at least. Mine's an 8,000 start and 75 running, and it handles everything I need to do. It's a commercial one, so it's worked for us for the times that we've needed it, but I was not in the position to spend 13 grand at the time.
Yeah, well, and nor am I. But I thought, well, once I got an idea, I could start planning. Got another big tax bill coming up next month that I'm not looking forward to. But anyway, so yeah, I got to see what's going on. But I'm also waiting, Joe, for an electrician that I know to get here. My son supposedly has been on his case to come over. He's been doing some work for my son. And what I'm going to have him come for now is I need an outlet in the garage for the electric heater that I plan on getting, being that I don't have the kerosene heaters. As long as I'm still able to do it, in the wintertime, I like going out to the garage and, washing the vehicles. But I got to have heat out there, And at which point, I can hit him up for additional information. Now, I don't know, he's got a regular job, I think, with the union. He does a lot of stuff on the side, but I don't know if he's ever done an installation like this, for a generator. So I got to keep poking around.
Well, if he comes and does that work for you, then that's the perfect time to ask perhaps relocating the box, the access box for the socket, and see what he wants to do it. Because for them, it's a simple process. It's only a cable and a couple of parts.
Oh yeah, and I already have a hookup box on the bottom of my main panel. I could essentially put the same thing in the garage, and that would certainly make life much more convenient if I could take the existing cord, for instance, that I have now is long enough to stretch across the garage, and I can open the back door to the garage and point the exhaust out the door. And that might be another idea. But I got to check all this stuff out and, see what goes on. But anyway, always something to worry about, W3OT.
Yeah, N2Z, all right. But I would consider that, especially since you've got a guy coming over, let him just do the work together. It can't be that expensive to do that if you think physically it'll work.
Yeah, well, that's all been part of my plan. It's just that time's a-flying here, and I want to get at least this first job done right away. Before you know it, the fall will be here, and although there's still some time, but time is going quickly. And I'd like to work on this project a little at a time, preferably before I get the garage painted, Joe. That way I can hang the thing on the wall and not have to paint around it,
Yeah, I agree. I'm getting a little antsy with my guy here because he's way overdue, and I thought I was the next project. Apparently he had some others in between, and so now I'm hearing maybe next week or the week after. I'm getting really a little bit annoyed now, I can't help it. I want to get this done. This is a big project, and it's costing money to do this. And it looks like I doubt very much he's ever going to get to my roof this year, and I really wanted him to do that. I mean, these are big projects that I'm offering him,
Yeah, well, contractors have a little different mentality. They don't have any scruples, number one, and they don't keep their word. They'll tell you they'll be here next week, and you'll be lucky to see them in a couple of months. And if another job more appealing comes up in the meantime, they just take it, and you're out the door.
Well, that's it. I mean, he must have picked up a bigger project, and so he's going to take that first, But, hey, I'm a long-time customer, a long-term customer, let's put it that way. And I've got more work for him, so I expect a little bit of special consideration. This is not, I've given him several projects already, at least 3, and I've got more to give him, so, and he knows that. So, you know what, give me some special attention here.
Yeah, contractors have always been difficult, but that's just the way they fly. There's a chance to make maybe more money easier, then they grab that first.
Yeah. You know what else I've got? I have to give away. I've got to donate a violin. It needs some repairs. It needs new strings. It needs what is it on the lawn? The horsehair or whatever they call it. It needs that. And one of the bridges, one of the tiny wooden bridges, came off, but it's in the bag. It's in the case. That has to be repaired. But it is repairable. The case is dilapidated. The case is really falling apart. But the violin itself can be repaired. And I just don't want to spend the money, so I'm trying to look for a place to give it a new home.
Yeah, I wouldn't know anything about that. I do know somebody here very well. He's a brother of another good friend that I see on a regular basis, but I don't see his brother all that much. He's got a small music store down in town, and he gives a lot of lessons. And if I bumped into him, I could ask him But again, he's here. You need somebody close by, I am guessing. But otherwise, I would not have a clue involved with something like that.
Yeah, there is a music store near the church, and I have to go in there at some point and bring it to him and see if I can, just donate it. But the thing is, they'll fix it and sell it. They'll make money on it. I would rather that it be donated to a kid who needs it, who really needs it. But I don't know if they'll do that.
Yeah, well, you can't trust those places either. I mean, they all need money, but they're not necessarily going to follow your wishes.
I'm going to ask the lady that heads the choir for my wife's church, for the church there, her choir, and she's got contacts. I just thought of it. I'm going to ask her if she knows some way that it can be repaired and donated to somebody who really could use it.
Yeah, that'd be good.
It belonged to my uncle. He wanted me to have it when I was a kid, but I was never in the violin, and I didn't have the aptitude for it anyway.
Yeah, I don't think I have an aptitude for any instrument, but years ago, I really wanted to play a guitar. I'd still like to play a guitar, but I don't know. I don't have what it takes, I'm sure. Even back then. And you got to have the tough fingers. I guess the thoughts of, having calloused fingers, nah, I'm too goofy for that.
Well, I thought the same thing. I had one of my daughter's guitars here. The problem for me is that my fingers are short, and I couldn't place my fingers on the what do they call them, frets, or in between the frets where they were supposed to go, and I couldn't get them to correctly go to the right positions. And I said, this is ridiculous. I need a smaller guitar.
Yeah. And you can't play every song with a pick. A lot of guys will do that, but you can't do that all the time.
Yeah, I would love to learn to play the guitar. I just don't, I don't have the dexterity. I just don't have the dexterity for it. I might try it again. She's got a smaller guitar and go online and just learn, some of the chords and stuff. But if I can't get my fingers in the right positions, then there's no point.
Yeah, well, I'm like you. I have short fingers, small hands. The only place they'd be good is up on the, oh God, I don't even know the parts of a guitar. Up in the arm, where the strings come closer together. And you kind of ride them back and forth to change the tone. Might be good there because of the size of my fingers, but as far as the bigger strings farther back, I don't know. Maybe it really wouldn't matter, but all I knew was I didn't want to do that to my hands. I'm kind of vain in that sense. But years ago, Joe, I was able to carry a tune. I could sing a lot of songs. Now, I'm no Neil Diamond or Elvis Presley or anything like that. I could do okay. And but here we are today, many years later, and my voice is in the toilet, so I can't even think about how much.
Well, that's the one thing I can still do. There are some songs I can sing reasonably well, not perfect, but reasonably well. I can still do that. And that's the one thing that I did keep. But as far as dexterity, no. But anyway, I don't worry about it anymore. I do enjoy the music, and I sing along with some of it, and that's it. Although I've got my father's harmonica, okay, and maybe one day I'll play around with that.
Oh, yeah. That reminds me, thinking about music here, I've been looking to get another CD player. Talk about donations. Oh, God, this was back about 3 years ago, Joe. I was helping the wife of a very good friend when he passed away, or after he passed away, and then he was a ham. So of course he had all kinds of equipment. She called on me, and anyway, so I was getting rid of a lot of different things, and got her a lot of money actually. And she said, anything you want, take. Well, I didn't want to take anything, but I did have some interest in buying a couple little things here and there. And she wouldn't take any money from me. But at some point in time, he said, I don't even know how the conversation came up. She said, oh, I missed my CD player. It died and she got rid of it, whatever. I said, you know what? I had one sitting down the cellar with all of my stuff. I moved it out of the living room, 5 years ago when we got new furniture, Joe. And anyway, he says, I'll give you my deck. It was a nice Yamaha with a six-disc changer. Well, maybe about a year ago, I get in the mood again to want to set up my stereo back in the family room. So I did, but minus the CD deck. So I took the one from the garage. I have a little one out in the garage that plays very, very well. And I brought that in just to try it. I've got lots of CDs that I really, really like. And it works. The problem is my speakers, one of them has a tear. I got to get whatever kind of glue they use for mending a speaker. Did you ever do that?
No, I never repaired speakers. I don't know, and I know that you will affect the, well, depends on how bad it is. It will affect the sound. That's one of the reasons why I sold my JBL Century 100s. They were 50 years old, and there was nothing wrong with the speakers. They still use the paper. I think they use a different composition these days, and they're not using exactly paper, the better speakers. But I was concerned that in time I might have, degrading of the speaker paper, and I was afraid of that. And I said, you know what, this is the time to sell it, and I'm glad I did. The guy who has them loves them, and they might be fine. Maybe nothing will ever happen, but that was one of the reasons. Aside from the size, I didn't need something so big. I wanted to downsize, but that was one of the reasons why I sold them.
Yeah, I had, when I moved out of the other house, I had a set of Goodman, I can't remember the model number. They weren't a bad speaker in their day, but they started to get, a little bit raspy. So when it came time to move, got a dumpster, and they went in the dumpster. Of course, somebody came and took them. Along with, I also threw out a really nice, was it a Kenwood? I don't know, a reel-to-reel tape player. It was a very nice tape player. Except something broke and parts no longer available. I threw it out. They took that too, only to find out that you can't get the parts to fix it, even if you know what you're doing. But my kids got me a set of Polk. I can't remember the model, but God, they had great sound. But I've seen the prices of what they sell for today, and I'm not buying them.
Well, yeah, but I got lucky because there was one part I wanted to change. I wanted to repair, and it was sort of like a circular foam rubber thing that went around the tweeter, but it was a stick-on, and a self-adhesive piece of foam rubber that went around it. And they had parts, so that they had parts. JBL had parts. So I bought the new, whatever you want to call them, these foam rubber circles, self-adhesing ones for the tweeters, and because the other ones had degraded, and I put them on, and man, my speakers look brand new.
Yeah, one of the, I don't know, what do I want to call it, the woofer? One of them has a little tear, like, right in the crease of the material. And I know they make kits to take care of that.
How you been? I think is along the lines of beautiful, isn't it? I think about it. How you pen? It was a tablet. it is like beautiful.
Alright, yeah, because it's something, you know what, there was so many different brands and stuff. But we used to use this stuff called menthol and give people treatment, like give them off the oxygen tank, you know, on the right end if they were in a lot of distress. And this stuff, it's kind of like tough to explain. I don't think what they have in it. It's like a tube, and you snap the end of it and you pour the liquid into the cup. And the cup was at the end, like a little mouthpiece. And they would inhale it, and it helped to dilate your bronchial, because they're going to get the bronchial spasms. Yes, very much like it. It actually was, that's correct. That was probably the correct term for it.
Yeah, it kept my dad alive for years.
Good morning, Clark. Good morning,
Good morning, Mr. Clark. Good morning.
All right, fellas, I'm going to get out of here a little bit early. Got to go get my nuts jiggled. Everybody have a great day. Talk to you soon. Whiskey out for two, hello.
Have a good one, Bill.
73.
What do you do? You put your pants, where should I put my pants? Put them over there, my mind.
Oh, please, Clark.
Have a good day. Good luck.
Don't have too much fun with the guy jiggling us there. Talk to you later.
Yeah, try not to do It'll be quicker.
You gotta get those elephant underwear with the ears and the trunk holder.
High school? Oh my God! Are you gonna put a glove on?
No.
You got the TV on in the background, is it? Talking about rain on Saturday?
Yep.
Oh, geez.
Temperature's gonna drop too. That's why I've been watching it with this bike ride on Friday. It's gonna be a lot better tomorrow, temperature-wise.
Yeah, they're calling for pretty much a washout on Saturday. Storms and thunder showers.
Oh, it doesn't look good.
Oh, shit. I'm getting out of here, too. I gotta go over to Queens today. Lucky me. In about an hour. And it'll probably be even worse that way. Kill on Bravo 2, Bravo X-ray. Shout for now, boys.
How are you doing, Danny?
Fresh air.
Who do you like, Danny? You still haven't told me when you're picking.
It's 50-50. I would like to see Messi go out on top. I would like to see Argentina win. I think Messi deserves it. That's personal opinion, but like you said, 50-50. Both. It's going to be a good game. Knockdown, drag out. It's going to be a hard game.
Okay.
Good talking to you.
Every day. Hey, Marshall, my son's got a wedding out in South Pole this weekend for the whole weekend. He's playing golf tomorrow morning out in some club in Greenport.
Oh, yeah, I didn't realize it was already. Look at this. What a terrible fortune. Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I said to him, leave early because of the, the crazy traffic going out there. And he said the guys went out last weekend, they blew into some kind of club out in South Pole. It took 2 hours from Huntington to South Pole.
It's not good.
No, it was pretty good. Yep.
We got a freaking suicide run here from Southampton out here, one lane in each direction.
That's a burger town road.
We'll go 2 hours plus just to go from Southampton to Ottawa.
Who owns the road? Is that a town road or a state road? The county. And the county never wanted to make that bigger, huh?
Well, the county owns part of it, and then the state owns the rest of it. It's part of Route 27. And, it was all politics. It had to do with the Shoreham plans, and that they made it, the big thing that killed Shoreham was, was over there, was actually anybody on the east end to go to that one lane of traffic in each direction. They probably would have turned both lanes into west town to go up the island, but he was fool with the man wanted to do it. They're playing with that
Gotcha.
And in the summertime, when you get these people coming out with these old jalopy cars that overheat, forget it. I mean, then you really got a problem.
Yeah, but I'm just surprised they haven't made it bigger. They haven't made it 2 lanes any direction, you know. Especially out there when the old, after you turn off where the old diner was, it's like farmland on both sides.
Not anymore. You go where the old diner is, where you make that turn. The diner is, let's see, the diner's closed now. There are some big homes to the south, matter of fact, where the light was, and you took the electrical east. You can go straight ahead. There used to be a shortcut back there, but now they put the signs up in the summertime, actually. They put the signs up, no through traffic. And every once in a while, South Hampton now will put a cop car or two back there, and they'll stop you. They want to know where you're going. Well, I'm going to Montauk. Okay, license and registration. Didn't you see the sign that says no through traffic? If you live there, you're okay. But, yeah, they get pretty pissy about that.
They need a high-speed ferry. No boat, no cars, just people out there along the South Shore.
Yeah, well, we have Viking fleets running one of their boats down to, let's see, where they go, New London? Excuse me, but no cars, passengers only.
Yeah, I'm talking about coming up island now.
Nah, nobody wants to give them a place to park. And what do you do when you get out of here? There's no way to get around, so that means it's got to be a car ferry. And the people out here, they don't want to hear about that.
Haven't you heard about the new phase? Everything is those little electric cycles.
Yeah, they'll ban them too. They're very dangerous here. Very dangerous. Well, I don't know if they'll ban them, but they're certainly going to restrict them. I don't know that much about it, but there's something about it. Somebody up in Albany proposed some legislation that they want to tighten up the rules on that. It is a motor vehicle. It is an electric motor, but it's a motor vehicle, and a lot of accidents are caused by those things.
Yeah, they classify them a whole bunch of different ways depending on how fast they go. But my guess is that they're going to have to register them, and you're going to have to pay, and it's going to be another money grab. It's going to be, all right, you have one, you have to get these little sticker to put on it, and it's a registration sticker, it's good for 2 years, and it's $55.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, $500 to register a little bit, they'll slow it down.
They won't charge $500. They'll charge like $40 every 2 years and do an automatic thing through the mail. They'll get their money. The worst thing is these kids on that is zigging in and out of traffic in residential neighborhoods over here.
You gotta keep the idiots off them.
They're very dangerous. Some of them go, 70 miles an hour.
Not like the good old days with the segways.
Segway, yes.
And now they came out with remember those kids, they had like the little mini segways and the batteries all exploding?
Oh yeah, the Chinese hoverboard there.
Yeah, that's it, exactly, those things.
You leave them in the garage, and the next thing you know, your house is on fire.
Yeah, go up and charging, that was a beauty.
Unbelievable.
It was the eBay special that was burned.
Oh, good. The wind just came around here. Due north. That should blow some of this shit out of here.
Marshall, you doing any fishing?
I'm doing some fishing. I get up there once in a while. 3 a week.
jump up there. I'm doing more fishing than I am catching.
Yeah, but that's therapy. That's good. You catch nothing, you're just relaxed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll jump up in the afternoon, go up on the hillside and do a shagwan up there. And, there's not much happening. The boat is slow, every once in a while I get a bluefish or something. I had a bass on the other afternoon, but it was too small. Just fishing too. I was always doing the slot. But I'm fishing in a different way because of my rotating cuff. I get no more 10-foot rods to throw that puppy out there or shooting. And as the water warms up, the bass in particular go into the deeper water where it's colder. So, well, we have fun.
Good, that's counts. Get yourself a drone, have it take the line all the way out there, and drop it.
Don't laugh, guys. We're doing that here.
I'm not surprised.
You sound like friends you, Casey won't teach you out. When you get here with his trouble, we'll try that. We'll see what we can do.
Where is he? He's up in the future?
He's in Massachusetts. Well, right now he's up in Maine. He's got a job up there. He's in the cable business. But he's in Massachusetts. He's not across from Pat. Pat's in Belgium County. He's living out of town. 30 miles from Pat, something like that.
That's the one with the boar hog.
Yeah, K-A-1-T-D.
Yeah, right. I think I talked to him a couple of times down in 160.
Yeah, he's on with us in the winter months on 160. Yeah, that's quite a machine he's got there.
Beautiful.
And the tension grabber, everybody comes over there. You think I can sit on the bank and take a picture? Or can I put my grandson up on the seat? What's that mean?
He's a nut like I am about waxing vehicles.
Oh, more than wax, forget it. I mean, that thing is immaculate. You wouldn't believe what that looks like. But, it's like some of us, I'm sure, I'm no different with my radio equipment here. It's spectacular. It's spotless stuff. It tells a lot about you. Well, the damn landscape we get there, the property looks like shit. But my radio equipment is sparkling.
And also you have a landscaper, but you have somebody else that cuts your grass, is that recall?
Yeah, Janine's been cutting my grass for 18 years, maybe now, something like that. She has that big rock machine that she pushes around, and nobody goes there alone except Janine.
Gotcha. Hey, Billy, I got a shitload of weeds in my backyard where I planted, I used the overseeder, which sucks because it didn't drop evenly. You can see the lines in a couple of spots where it missed, where it didn't drop good. And I got nothing but weeds there. What is the best way to knock them down after the heat drops out next week? Well, depending on which overseeder you have, Soleco, I've had that problem where the cutter blades are worn and they make the lines not deep enough. When it used to happen, they pulled that air out of the tires so the thing would drop lower, but it's another story. Anyhow, well, if the grass came up, you want to cut it at least twice, maybe 3 times to harden it. Then you could go over and spray, your broadleaf weeds, whatever's coming up, clover, this, that. Anything with like freeway in it, or just any general weed control will pretty much work. But you gotta have the grass hardened off first.
Yeah, the grass is good. It's been, I think April I planted it. It's been cut, 10, 15 times already. Speed zone did the job?
So, speed zone, I use that. The white container that's like a milky white. If you want to mix it hot, meaning heavy, and not soak the weeds, just hit them so they're wet but not flood it. 2 ounces per gallon. I use a sticker with it too, or use some dish soap, something that'll help it stick. And if you want to go on the lighter side, 1.5 ounces, and you can wet the weeds a little more.
Yeah, I forget what this is that I got, the sticky stuff that I got. I got another one. I got old speed. The speed zone I have is old. I don't know if it runs down. I got probably about half a gallon of it. I don't know how good it is. Probably about 4 or 5 years old.
And it's probably wearing. So then go 2 ounces per gallon. Put it hot and use some dish soap if you don't have any of the sticker, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, QSL. I think I have some of that shit left. I gotta take a look at it. But I'll grab another thing. I usually, I have a backpack sprayer.
Stuff's really went up a lot in price in the last couple of years. I think I just bought, what the hell did I pay? A gallon was like 80, 75, 80. It's really out of control. I remember stuff when it was $35 a gallon, $32. Yeah, you'll be fine. 85 and less, 60, 80 degrees and less, and you'll be alright. You won't get drift.
Alright, cool. Wait, next week I think it's gonna drop. But yeah, I have all sections of the kitchen. I noticed I rented this thing, and I asked the guy because for years I used the Rhino receiver, which was great. This thing had like hammer blades in it instead of like pizza cutters, like the Ryan. And yeah, people didn't know what they were doing with it, so I don't carry it anymore. But it is what it is. Too late now.
Yeah, the Ryans are much better than the Electron. It's the best overseer, and I should have never, ever, ever sold it. Best one ever made, in my opinion. It was built like a tank with an 18-horse brake on it. With quality, look it up. You can still find them here and there. They don't make them anymore. Olathe, O-L-A-T-H-E, like Olathe. It was made in Olathe, Kansas. It was chain-driven, so the blades, the circular blades were up front. So as you went down into a dip or anything, it would just follow down and cut and drop the seat. The thing fell off the back of my truck and even sent it. It was about 400 or 500 pounds. It was a tank. And it was the best split seater I ever had, bar none.
Yeah, I'm renting these things, so it doesn't make a difference like that. I'm just going to, I'll stick with the speed zone, because at the end of the year, I'm going to oversee it again. But I don't know, I'm going to have to look around and see what's out there. We're going to do a heavy. I'm getting that creeping Charlie back, which I thought I'd kill, but I killed my whole backyard thinking I was going to get rid of the creeping Charlie that was taking over, and now it's just popping right back in.
Guys, let me jump out of here. I got an applicator coming here at 8:30. Spider mites, no good, no good. So we gotta have some stuff sprayed here. And it's supposed to be at 8:30, and I'm gonna be finishing my second cup of coffee and awaiting the arrival. Don't need too much ID. Everybody take care. We'll catch you tomorrow.
So get the spider mites on your butt.
Oh boy, I tell you. Go ahead.
Those are crabs.
Yeah, some muscles get cribs of their name, glucose.
Little teeny.
Have a good day, Marshall. Catch you later.
Thank you, boy. I'll catch you tonight, probably. And I think the user and Ronnie was, yeah, we gotta stay away from that single lane out here. You cool with it, you'll have no problem. No problem.
Yeah, QSL, we're going to a big wedding, very big wedding. One of the Basilico girls getting married.
Oh, there you go. There will be a good one.
Yeah, there's a few other guys out there that very big construction company that is on Long Island, J.D. Pelico and Sons. They built most of the expressway, and they do a lot of these big jobs. One of the daughters, actually, it's the granddaughter of the guy's father, is getting married.
I was just going to say, if you had a problem getting out there, call JD and tell him to lay down a quick road. He built almost all of the infrastructure out here. They need the silicone. Okay, sounds good, everybody, and Clark, I forgot to say hello to you. Don't be too friendly.
Marshall, have a great day.
Yo. My entire property is a half acre. I'm going to say this section is, well, you know what it is stripes. As I came across where I tilled, the problem is the overseer did not penetrate. I guess the lawn was like wavy, or there was like a dip in between, so the seed did not drop into the area. So I'm going to say the pieces that I have, let's say I have 8 feet, let's say 10 feet by 100 all. Let's say that's the entire square footage I got to do.
10 by 100, so 1,000 square feet, that's small. All right. You know what you could do then? I was going to say get the right on, but if it's that small, to use a hand, get the work behind Ryan Quarterator, what I would do for that small area, and I would pulverize it. And it would take probably 20 minutes, half hour. I'd go over 3, 4, 5 times, so you just wreck it, holes everywhere. Take a spreader, go over heavy with a good seed, and here goes it better than a drill seeder on that.
Good idea. I'll talk to you. You should do that at the end of the year, or with the speed zone now?
Speed zone now, as soon as the temperatures break for the last 25 years, like in August, like it's 90 degrees one day, and all of a sudden it starts to drop to like 82, 80, somewhere around there. As soon as it breaks, 3rd week, 4th week, right around there, I jump right out of my aeration to get them established. And that's when I would do it. You run the aerator, that's a small area. Just pulverize it and feed the hell out of it. You don't need the drill seeder.
All right, perfect. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'll do it. It's just like I got it anyway now before August to get the creepy trolley down, and I got it in my front lawn in and out. And then I hit it good in September to try and knock it down for the year.
Yeah, you'll be good. Just as long as you got about 2 weeks separation, 2 to 3 weeks between your last application and your seed, you'll be good.
Yeah, I do, so I'll probably do the seeding in August, and I'll do the speed zone like probably at the end of September to knock that creep control, because that's when it starts, I think it starts to run out a little bit more.
Yeah, and then put down put down that amp line, really good line next, and your starter fertilizer, you'll be good.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot. I appreciate it.
Okay, I gotta jump out. 73's everybody. Arch, Mr. Clark, you're still out there. Whoever's left. 73's, have a nice day. Don't breathe today. Don't breathe too much. Take breaths and run. And one market.
Be good, Bill. Stay out of the ugliness. Got you next couple of days. I'm not going to be around over the next 2 days with this bike ride. I'm going to switch over to 2 meters, fellas. Everybody have a good day. Aussie, be good. Clark, I'll catch you in a little while. I don't know who else is out there. 73 from Huntington, New York.
Thank you. I'll make sure we're okay.
Be well, be happy, be safe. KPGK.
All right, take care. Well, I guess I was wrong about the smog. The sun just broke through, and it's bright orange and everything. So here we go.
Yeah, it looks like doom and gloom.
Blue and sunny up here, but it's coming back this afternoon.
Hopefully we get some wind.
Yeah, they're pushing it your way.
Push it back up north.
Well,
qualification.
Well, hey, are you talking about because guys are staying in the house, it's not too good to get laid?
No, if anything, I would say that, but no, it's better for the skyway.
Oh, yeah, there was some inversions on 2 meters the guys were all happy about. So, interesting.
All right, 10-3, I'll have it away.
Oh yeah, good smoky inversions. There you go. Take care, buddy. And one PGF.
That sounds sexual, Archie.
It was. Take it, Bill.
Yeah, it's really not spoken in that many places around the world. And, gosh, if there was another language for me that was as powerful as English, that's what I would be wanting to learn, and that they don't bother to learn it, just boggles me. So, but anyhow, want to say, this total change subject here, Bob, and have you seen that it appears that they're going to make daylight saving the permanent time? Go ahead. No, I must have missed that one. But,
Trying to remember all the arguments pro and con, you know. But without thinking any more about it, I don't like the time changes, because they cause a lot of, all the clocks in the house and all that kind of thing. Yeah. So I would like the same time you're out. But one argument that always bothered me was, does anybody get hurt? Is anybody who really loses something, to speak of, by making it the same all the time? Who loses something? Does it hurt anybody? And the one they always came up with, they said, yeah, it could hurt school kids, So that's the only argument I remember. Time change. Yeah. Well, I might get out of here a little early today. Haven't gotten up because I got my information packet from my attorney in the mail yesterday. And now I'm fully equipped to take any kind of action I need to take. So I'll probably go out today and take some actions. 10-4 NCs anyway, happy kid. Yeah, so we want to do taking action. That sounds pretty good. You're already in the back. Anything you take, return. Just take all the action you can get your hands on, and that's what you want to do today. So just don't take your back out. So when you're taking action, don't take your back out. And we're into more language, all the certain uses of language. Oh gosh, you said something and I already forgot it. I was going to comment on it. Man, this is annoying. Yeah, but glad you got all together where you can do this. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. I had an email that said your bank account could be activated or something like that. And I kept forgetting it, to make sure you do something, and I just kept forgetting about it. And so a week later, I'm driving by the bank, and I have nothing to do, and I'll just stop in the bank. And I was in that bank for an hour. It took them I have to set up the auto, what do you call it, move money out there, mutual funds. So the thing is active. It's just I haven't been logging in because it just sits there. And, but it was amazing what a hassle it was. I thought, oh my gosh, what were you going through? This is an account that I clearly owned. I had the ID on it. I was the person. They believed I was the person. They saw my driver's license in one other form of ID, and it just amazed me how hard it was. I mean, I started thinking about, my God, this is what it takes for me to do a little bit of corrective action on an account. And I asked him, I said, well, nowadays there's so many bad actors out there that are finding ways to swindle people that we just have to go through all this to try to make sure you're really who you say you are and all this is legit. Oh my gosh. But anyhow, so on that high note, we'll let you go and let you get to doing all that actionable actions that you're going to actuate on. This is W4 and NG. We'll be clear. WA2FQK is clear. Behind it. Let's get over and see if you have a use for it. I have no use for it. Just gonna sit there and move to the next owner, I guess. But anyway, it's amazing how the time goes by and you save all the stuff you never ended up using. My garage has a lot of that.
Oh, yeah, well, that's like my dad had stuff here, forever. And, heck, I even remember some of the stuff. And then, I cleaned out the place, and I kept some of that stuff, because you never know, you're going to need it. And it's still here, and I haven't used it. So, yeah, no, I totally understand that. But, I don't know, I'll take a look at it. I'm trying not to collect as much stuff. I need to try and get rid of stuff rather than collect more stuff. But we'll see. And I'm going to make this kind of a short one because I got to leave by 9 to get up to mix by 10. And I have a couple things. I still have to put a couple things in the truck. I got most of the tools in there that I think I need. So, me, I wish I would more than I probably need. K2 QGK.
Yeah, well, if you ever get bored, you could always have a handyman business. We had a guy in town here until he fully retired, and has long since passed away, but in fact his name was Fred, and he called himself Fred Fixit. He did all kinds of handyman things, and had a pretty good business going there for a while after he retired. So you're all set to go. You got pretty much every tool you'll ever need. And a lot of people don't know how to do simple jobs. He had a lot of doorknob installation. I mean, what you and I would consider a simple thing. A lot of people don't even want to know that.
Yeah, no, I know that to be true. I've done a lot of it for friends. Look at the kitchen sink I did for Nick. Although that turned a little more complicated because it had been there for a little bit. If I had like a van, I would have my clothes all, with me, and that probably wouldn't have been an issue. But that's, I considered it, but I have a tendency taking on jobs that are maybe too big, and I don't know. I'm not doing any more electronics right now, and I'm going to do that more slowly. It was really starting to consume my time, and I was doing things putting it off kind of till the last minute, and then rushing to get stuff done, and I don't want to do that. You know, I want to enjoy it, and I was enjoying it for a while, but gave me too much stuff there. So, you know, I'm retired. I want to do this stuff, you know, when I have the time and when I don't mind doing it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I was kind of kidding around because your place is too cool to take on a job like that. I'm really surprised Paul gets so much repair work. I mean, it's old stuff that you really would think people would want and just got rid of. I mean, you know, there's an occasional person who would want to keep some old piece of gear going, but man, that is like everyday stuff. And I'm really surprised. I thought everybody threw away stuff now. So, anyway, I'll let you go. When you're done at Nick's, you could just text me and then I'll listen on 5-8. Maybe I'll listen on 3-3 as you're coming up. But I don't know if there'll be we'll have much to talk about. We'll see. Yeah, that guy in the call was looking for some kind of use of HD. What about just real quickly here, what about the other historical, the stuff about somebody having something stolen and it was an argument? I never heard any of that stuff.
I didn't hear about the stolen, although somebody at the end of the one said somebody picked up an HD or something, but no, I did not know any of that was going on, and yeah, apparently there was some bad slang being thrown of ethnic slang, I guess it would be, against the vendor. But you know, not for nothing, I get what they're saying, but, you know, now we gotta walk around with shirts that say security and dogs. I mean, no, I don't really want to do that. I thought the community, I don't know, was not that, you know, but no, I never heard that. The email out, that was a shock. What got stolen? I'm not sure what IHC that they talked about.
Yeah, it was an HD. I don't know if it was picked up off of a tailgater or what. There was no details, so I don't know. In fact, there was a picture, and I don't know if that was a picture of the offender or the offendee. So, you know, they don't give a lot of info. Yeah, the idea that we have to have people around saying security, that's crazy. I mean, you know, that has nothing to do with the club. If one guy starts yelling at another guy, you know, that's not our business. I mean, if we were aware of it, yeah, we'd probably step in and try to, you know, stop it. But, you know, when you have 2,000 people in an area like that, how are you going to get enough security to be effective? I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I don't know who that picture is of either. If it's the guy that was yelling or the vendor or whatever. I mean, and you seem to have a smile on his face, so I don't know. I really don't know until we actually get together and talk or whatever at a meeting or something. I have no idea. So, but yeah, I really didn't think that the radio community was kind of like that. I mean, I know there's some strange people, I should say, but I didn't think they would do that. So, anyway, yeah, let me get going because I gotta leave at 9. I'll turn the radios on for sure. I'm gonna stop on my way. I just have to make a stop or two. So, yeah, it'll be a little closer to probably 9:30 before I am in an area to talk. So, I'll give you a shout when I'm in the area. I'll probably use 33 first. Because I'm probably going to go 5:15, so I gotta go to the next. Although I could go past your house,
then you go in and reconnect to your Wi-Fi. Obviously, it's going to be 2 gigs because you know which one it is. And that all worked out fine. So it's a shame Bob Scott. I'm assuming that's the problem he's having. But if he has a dual band router and the SSID is saying to have to change I would recommend changing the SSID to the 5 gig versus 2 gig 7.
That was exactly what the problem was, and I didn't recall what the solution was. I told him that you and Warren and Phil had all been through that, but I will tell him to try it.
Yeah, I don't know if he has the capability, I don't know if the screw up his internet connections up there to change the SSID on 5 gig. But
You can go ahead and use one to turn the 5 gig off temporarily.
right, that might be the easiest solution. That's usually, you do it to the whatever the 192.168.1, whatever the gateway comes to, it varies from provider to provider. But if he was in there, usually somewhere in there, there's a way to turn off the 5 gig radio, just needs 2 gig on. And all you have to do is go through the pairing process with every, system up there with the plate camera. I'm sure it'll work 5 gig.
This is all connected. Just an update. The only thing that's different that I don't recall happening, he said it would pair up okay, but that it would revert back to 5 gig and he would lose it. It would pair back in. So,
yeah, but the fact, I don't know how to answer that because it varies from router to router. I can say this, if the SSID is the same for the 5 gig radio or the 2 gig radio, it's not going to work.
okay.
It might have seemed to pair okay, but it worked. I know, after I pair up, I don't have to shut my 5 gig radio up because they're 2 different frequencies, 2 different names. Once I'm paired up, to that change, I don't know which method he's connected with, but I was surprised all these laser air conditioners that are replaced them a number of times. Their interface is when you push the right button on the device and it starts to blink. In other words, telling you it's ready to pair. And then I have to do is with your phone and you go to connections and you choose how you want to connect. You want to connect to your 5 gig system, 2 gig system, whatever. You look at that list of all your names and other test printers, you're going to see, I see my breaker air conditioner with a bunch of buttons. You actually force the phone to connect directly to the air conditioner, not to your router. And once that pairing takes place, then you have to go back to connections on the phone to the mobile device and reconnect to your 2 gig radio.
Yeah, that's confusing to me why you have to do that. But, yeah.
But it works like a charm. The older method, they used to do it. It took like 10 bucks. The only thing with these metric air conditioners, from the time you start the 2 buttons you push on the air conditioner to put it in a connected pairing mode, the entire process has to be done in 5 minutes for a fast. Yeah, so you have to have it figured out. And 5 minutes is what you have to do in 5 minutes is plenty of time. If you've never done it, and you're reading the book and trying to do it while you're doing it, 5 minutes is not going to be long. It's going to run out before you're done. And then you say, oh, this doesn't work, there's something wrong with it, yada, yada.
Just an update for you. The iPad, as soon as you touch one of the sliders for, volume, passband buttons, a little small window, very, very small though, at the bottom of the screen pops up with an up arrow, a down arrow, a microphone icon, and a keyboard icon. As you click on the keyboard icon, of course you can, put in numbers and text. So that's what I have on the iPad.
Right. So the interface works fine on your SDR with the iOS interface. It's not forcing the keyboard up with any touch to the screen. Oh, any touch to the screen. Hold on. In other words, what I'm trying to say is, once you have an SDR, obviously there's portions of the screen that you want to be able to touch to make something happen, like the waterfall. You want to be able to tap on a signal on the waterfall, bring up that frequency. And you don't want the keyboard coming up at that point. But if you touch the box with the frequency, manual entries for the frequency, it is yes, you want the keyboard.
Yep, it does that. You know, any part of the screen brings up
The dialog box, the option to bring up the keyboard, but it doesn't bring up the keyboard yet.
you have to.
Right, well, that's fine. Yeah, because as you saw in the two pictures I sent you, the keyboard, I can't change the size of that keyboard. It takes up that whole amount of board of the screen, so the minute I touch the screen, that keyboard comes up, it blocks the control panel.
Okay.
Yeah, I would think that would be suitable within the Android system, no?
Yeah, well, see,
It is. And I tried the third party.
I don't know if you got the email showing I tried the Google keyboard.
It's a third party Apple keyboard. It works great,
But it does exactly the same thing as Samsung keyboards as part of the time. Yeah, it just covers the whole GUI.
right. So, you know, when I touch, let's say I've got the GUI up, and I tap LSP. Well, yeah, LSP took effect, but the keyboard pops up and blocks it all. Then I just hit that little upside down counter response, drop the keyboard back away it goes. It goes away. But if I try to use the slider, the minute I touch the slider, there's the keyboard and there's no way to move the slider. I have to just guess where I want the slider to be. Okay, over there. So when I touch there, it will be there after I move the keyboard again. I agree with it. If it was something in the Android operating system, why does it work with all the other SDRs, TV SDRs, K2MX, etc.? That's the deal.
Okay. I thought I heard Dick jump in there. Did you have something to say? I guess not. Anyway, who gets it? Is it over to,
Let's see, I had it. Go to Warren. Warren's no longer in the
the thing is in with them.
But there. Well, it's not.
Or, Dick is no longer in the
He just disappeared out of the window. It's not that important that Dick puts it on his Samsung tablet. He has the same tablet as myself, Warren, Les. I've got three of these things. One of them's still away, so I'm assuming both of mine do it. Les does it, and Warren, his done. So I tried it.
I'm still around. I look up these, but I can play with the SDR.
Voice typing, I can turn that off. Things like that. I tried everything that all the workarounds that I'm hearing that. And evidently it's a common problem because if you Google it, they specifically talk about tablets. And a lot of tablets have a problem with the on-screen keyboard popping up like that. Where phones don't. That's what really confused me. A phone with an Android operating system, is it the same as a tablet with an Android operating system? Yeah. Let's see who's left. There's a free HVA. Well, for you.
So you're two working.
All right, W2RB, W3HK. Warren's still logged into the server. He's just not on Teams. I don't know. Anyway, and Warren, you tried to break in and took the amplifier again. Maybe the gain is a little too high. Leave a little pause between hitting transmit and sending audio this way. See if that's the difference. Anyway, interesting discussion. Well, the keyboard is a function of the device. So maybe it's something with the device that brings up the keyboard. I don't know. That's my guess. But anyway, I got nothing else on my pad here, so I guess I'll say 7-3 and see everybody back here tomorrow. Have a good day. And interesting bill about the air particles and the size and so forth. And yeah, I looked at National Weather Service website. They usually have warnings on air quality. Then this morning there's nothing there other than to say that it's going to be smoke. So there's no warning to stay indoors or anything like that. People have issues, or anybody who doesn't want to have their lungs filled with the fine particles. So I guess I'll skip working outside today. Why not? Why have any risk at all of getting sick of some sort? All right, 7-3, everybody back here tomorrow. So see if Lauren is there, and give him a shot. Other than that, otherwise go over to Rick. WS2Z, W3HPX. Sorry to put the amplifier, perhaps my increase of the modulation by 3 dB is not a good thing. Perhaps this continues to do this tomorrow. Then I'll back down, drop it down by 3 dB. But what I tried to break in, Rick and Richie had found a one-on-one conversation, and I tried to let them know I was here, and I guess I keyed up for my call too quickly. But anyway, I have not been able to successfully connect to Rick's SDR. I tried closing out Teams, that's why that's going, and I tried two browsers, Firefox and Chrome. The Chrome one says cannot reach that website or whatever it says, something like that. It couldn't disconnect. And on Firefox, you get nothing, you get a blank screen and no connection. So I'm going to try on this one. I'll play around with it a little bit offline, try the desktop, try the tablet, and I'll try the iPad. But again, after I'm using 168.171.54:8073. That is incorrect. Please let me know. It's
Yeah, you have the first number, first content wrong. Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, Lauren, it's not 168, it's 68, and the rest of the string is okay, right?
I'm looking at my writing here, and it almost looks like a 1 in front of it. Okay, I'll try again, and I'll let you know tomorrow. I love you, and get on with the day, and we'll see you tomorrow. I'm not sure what goes back. I'll go back to Rich, and you can guide me with the day. W2RB, this is WMCZ. Somebody's right.
Yeah, it'll definitely work fine. Yeah, 68, not 168. And Bill and Hershey, you made a comment, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a function of the device, the keyboard, the screen, but software controls it. It's a supervised keyboard. In other words, once you have a GUI up on the screen with a tablet or a phone, and if you're obviously familiar with the SDRs we're using here, that control panel will spot lower side, upper side. You don't want the keyboard popping up when you touch those buttons. That's what they're made there to control those functions. But like if you put your finger on a slider to slide the slider left, right, up or down, you don't want the keyboard coming up, but it does. You only want the keyboard coming up like the box that has the frequency. Yeah, when you tap your finger in the box, you want the keyboard. Now, the interface with the iPad and the iOS system sounds very nice. It breaks up a navigational balloon, we'll call it, that allows you to choose your keyboard. You want navigational left hand arrows. That's a very nice thing. And I have that also on the, but it's software control. In other words, this particular tablet, for some unknown reason, now last time I had two that did it. I'm sure Warren's going to do it. When Dick figures out how to do it, he'll do it on this as well. There's got to be a way around that. And the only way I see it is it has to be some function of the SDR. If there's nothing changing in my tablet in regards to how this all works. So if I go to T3FEF, it works. If I go to WNT, it works. If I go to KE2FX, it works. When I go to RIX, I get this keyboard anytime I touch the screen. Got to be a solution for it. And the other strange thing is, I think I mentioned that when I look at all those interfaces on the computer, on the desktop, they all look exactly the same. And there's slight differences for those interfaces on the phone and on the tablet. More so on the tablet than the phone. So it has a lot to do with the UI and the operating system in the mobile device, whether it be a knockoff tablet or all the knockoffs are Android. So it's either let's face it, there's only two operating systems. That's it. It's Android, there's iOS, that's it. There are no others. Anyway, that's all I have here this morning. And listen out. And like I say, it's not a big deal. But I'm glad that KTFEF fixed the drop-in problem. That was really annoying. But once I figured out that it had to turn it on and off, all I had to do was go to AM and back to sideband or an LSD and started working again. But it did it quite often during the hour. It happened like 50 times. Anyway, 7-3, I'll listen out. Back to you, Rick. And, I see Phil is still here. Let me turn it to him for any comments. WB2, DHY. And we had the band here, too.
Yeah. Yes, okay. This is WB2DHY. And anyway, I'm hanging around a little bit. Very interesting conversation going on. And maybe Rick, you could answer the person named Bill that apparently Bill was mentioning, or maybe Bill can jump in here if he's still around. Is that anyone we might know? Over?
No, that's not our Bill. That's a friend of HBA or Warren. I forget which one of their groups. HBA, you want to make a comment?
Yeah, a friend of ours, a car guy. We had lunch together every Wednesday. One of the car guy groups here in Hershey Break.
Okay, very good. Car guy.
Okay, that's great. All right. Thanks very much for letting me know that. I was, it's not totally easy to follow the closed caption, especially when a number of the stations come up, and I'm reading the closed caption, and it falls under Rick's name, so unless I catch the call letters switch over from one guy to the other, I can't spell it, I can recognize the voice. So with that, 73 gentlemen, and have a great day, and be careful breathing the air out there. If you can grab an N95 mask, that might be a wise thing to do. But that's WB2DHY is clear, 73.
Okay, B2DHY, W2RB, okay, so. And as Phil mentioned before, I thought my air conditioners, I don't use the standard OEM filters. They make an optional carbon filter. I put those in the house so that filtering small particles. We see it. I got two air conditioners running right now. The house is very comfortable. And no sign of any smoke in the house, like outside. Like yesterday, I don't know if you're mostly aware, I can't smell the face of the thing. I haven't 5 years, so after we went in the room. But my brain is a funny thing. Even though she said that the outdoor smells like ash, My brain knows it. Senses it, but I have absolute no sense of smell. I can't smell, I couldn't identify. But my brain knows there's a smell out there. Just like my brain knows if I'm eating food, if it has a lot of salt on it, if it's over salted, I'm going immediately. If it's too sweet, too sour, if it's bad, I'm not big worried when this all went down, so I'm going to eat some kind of food, a fish dinner or something. It definitely seems it's bad. If I eat something bad, and you take a bad cashew out of Brazil, you know, with one thing, something wrong with this. My brain knows there's something wrong with the food that's in my mouth. It's a real weird thing. I'm not going to go into the details of how they MRIs in my brain, scientists cavities, the World Trade has done marvelous tests. There's nothing to be done. Anyway, 7-3 guys, and we'll see you all tomorrow. That'll be at 2 hours.
Okay, 73, Rich. I'm glad you have a good filtration system locked into your air conditioner. And yeah, I'm sorry about losing your sense of smell, and that has occurred to quite a number of people that I know. So hang in there. And I guess use your imagination as best you can, which it seems you are doing. Okay, I'm going to be signing off here. 73, WB2DX, all clear.
Let me make one more comment. You know, it's funny you say that, Bill. Last time we went shopping, we got some jerseys for it, and I love corn on the cob, especially the white country gentleman corn, sweet. You don't even need butter on it. Because at one time I had a smell, I know exactly what the viscosity should be, how crunchy it should be, how sweet it should be. My brain knew all that, but I couldn't taste or smell a thing. But my senses were satisfied, and I know there was nothing wrong with the corn, and I knew it was good. It wasn't, you know, sometimes you get corn, you husk it, it looks beautiful, you cook it, and you take one bite and say, oh, this is not what I was waiting for. I'm waiting for the taste I'm looking for. You know what I'm talking about. Don't eat it too early.